Hi, this is Birk from Tardigrade Tactical. Today we're making this video to make a walkthrough of the Quantum Duty and Gunfighter belt. I'm wearing the duty belt right now on top of the Micron inner belt. So the Micron inner belt has loop on the outside of the belt, and the Quantum Duty and Gunfighter belt has hook on the inside of the belt. So we put the entire belt system out on the table here to show you the different features. The Micron inner belt, as I said, is a loop inner belt, like this. Probably one of the thinnest on the market, and obviously very flexible in on its own. The Quantum and Duty Gunfighter belt is quite unique in that the fact that most traditional duty belts has a reinforcement piece built into the belt that goes from end to end of the belt itself, whereas the Quantum Duty and Gunfighter belt has 3 separate compartments, each able to take a reinforcement piece to individually reinforce the 3 sections of the belt. The reason why this is an advantage is that on a traditional duty belt, let me take this off real quick. On a traditional duty belt, since it has reinforcement on the entire in the entire piece of the belt, usually what happens is when you have a force that is applied on one side of the belt, that force will translate through the entire belt and make a opposite movement. That means that whenever you're flexing the belt, it will make an opposite movement on the other side of your body. So if you're in an awkward position, the belt will take that bend in the belt, the curvature in the belt, and transfer it all the way through the belt to the other part of your body, which can give you unpleasant pressure points, basically. So we solve this with the Duty and Gunfighter belt by having these 3 individual sections. When you have, well, let me go back to this one. When you have 3 individual sections or more, you will have a belt that is flexible in between the sections. The belt I have right now only has reinforcement pieces put into the right side and to the left side, keeping the back side more flexible without any support insert into it. When you mount heavy equipment on your belt, like a pistol or anything else, and during movement, the belt itself will have these flexible zones in between the reinforcement compartments or the reinforcement pieces that are in the compartments, and therefore it will dissipate the energy coming from one side of the belt and therefore not transfer the energy to the other side of the belt. This makes for a very comfortable belt to wear for many hours a day, especially when you're working in patrol cars, going in and out, or sitting in a patrol car for a very long time. Let me put this aside. Here we have the belt with the support pieces out of it. It's very simple. When you want to insert a support piece, you just slide it into the opening. Slide it all the way through. It can be a little tight fit, but that's on purpose. There we go. Let's say we want to reinforce all 3 sections of the belt. Like this. Now we have a fully supported Quantum belt with each of the 3 sections with a support piece inside. Maybe more visible when there's no pouches attached to it, but you see when we have a flex on one side of the belt, the energy will dissipate between each of these individual sections, like the little portion in between here. We call it a little crumble zone, or flexible zone, like that. Like that. So you have this natural bend that will follow the body, and as I said, the energy will not go from one place to the other. But as you can also see, it's fully reinforced, or enough reinforced so you can still, like the weight of the belt itself will sustain its own weight, and also some sort of equipment. And when it's mounted to the body, it'll sustain a lot of equipment. The curvature itself, the geometry that happens to the support piece on the inside, will enable the belt to take quite a lot of force when it's curved around the body in a very natural way. The belt buckles that we supply the belts with, we have two different types. This one is a 3-point polymer buckle. It's a very standard buckle. Comes with a variety of different brands who deliver this buckle. So it's a tried and tested. This one is called a cup lock. Yeah. The alternative is the Austro-Alpine Cobra buckle, which is a aluminium buckle, a safety buckle. Now you don't necessarily need the safety aspect of it in the quantum belt, given that it is not a certified belt for load bearing in terms of like safety equipment. But many users prefer this buckle anyways, not necessarily because of the strength it gives the belt itself, but more the fact that it's very, very slim. And it's very, very doable. So even if you step on it, or it gets twisted in a really extreme way, the buckle will not come undone or break. So you can use a variety of different belt buckles with the belt. It doesn't have to be one of these. We can supply a belt with whatever 50mm buckle you prefer, basically. Skipping along to some of the other features with the belts, we already have some of the pouches attached to this belt. You can see a selection of the pouches we provide. We have a lot more pouches than this, but this is some of the pouches that already is mounted onto our belt as we have it here on the table. One of the advantages with using the quantum belts is that it has MOLLE compatible mounting slots on the inside. It might be difficult to see it here because it's so flat, but you can see it here. And it's much more visible when you go to the belt where the pouches are actually mounted here. So you have these slots going on the inside of the belt, but on the inside of the Velcro as well, meaning that even though you have pouches attached to the belt, you will still have fully available hook on the inside here that attaches to the inner belt. So you have a full grip on the inner belt, even though you have a lot of pouches mounted to it. Now these are compatible with all or most MOLLE pouches on the market. We can't speak for all of them, but everything we've tried has worked so far. We have quite a unique mounting system to our own pouches. As you can see here, we have an identical pouch here. On the MOLLE attachment system, we have an extra slot cutout here that enables the pouch to be really tightly locked into the quantum belt itself. So this magazine pouch in this instance is not going to move anywhere in the vertical direction. Obviously, the advantage of having a MOLLE on the duty belt itself is that it is not going to move on the horizontal direction at all, obviously. We have a pistol holster attached on the other side here. You can see how it enables that. Usually you would see on other belts, you would see like a very aggressive curvature out here, but here it seems to be very flat because of the insert. It's also very flat but very stiff on the inside here. Just to showcase our tourniquet pouch here. It's mounted on the belt. Here's quite a different type of attachment system, but on this specific pouch we also make sure that there's still enough Velcro on the inside. Alright. Yes, one last feature. On the outside of the Quantum and Duty Gunfighter belt, you have MOLLE in a like a different direction than on the inside of the belt. This allows you to mount a pouch either in this direction or in this direction adjacent to the belt itself. It can also be used to store extra zip ties. If you're running with one pair of handcuffs and you run into more than one person that has to be handcuffed, most officers are wearing extra zip ties as an addition to those handcuffs, so they can use it as a kind of an emergency handcuff. The MOLLE cutouts here allows for virtually as long as you want zip ties. These are, I think, approximately 35 to 40 centimeters, but we have zip ties that are even longer that will fit inside the belt as well. Putting this aside. So you'll be able to stack, I would say, maybe 8 pairs or something like that in the outside of the belt, belt itself. The last thing is probably going into the adjustment of the belt. On the inside you have the adjustment portion of the belt. Everything is locked in place by a belt loop. You simply open it like that, pull it to your size, and reattach the Velcro like this. Alright, that was a run through of the Quantum, Duty and Gunfighter belt.